That is, I would say, that is the thing that break most of relationships. That's why they don't go the way we want them to go, because you gave your word, you don't live up to it. You give your word, you don't live. Today's topic is marriage, which is really cool, right? Here is a 34-year-old guy who is married for 1 year. And then we have a little less than 30-year-old. I said before 28, but she was like, no, I'm almost 30, so that's why I will say it like that. We have Ula, who will share who was engaged, or you are still engaged. You will clarify that for us. Clarify that now, Ula. You are still or not? I'll just show the hands. Anyway, all right. Okay, anyway. All right. The hand says right. Who was engaged but didn't go through. You know, life happens. And then we have Emma, who is like 22 years old, and there is no ring on her finger, but she's in a relationship for how long now?
4.5 in
All right.
10 days.
All right. It's all December thing, I guess, for us. Huh?
No, it's for me it's June. Yeah, but it's half on December. So
yeah, half. Yeah, all right. Cool. Yeah, it's December. I said, like, yeah, it's how
four
I
and a
said.
half.
4.5. Yeah. Awesome, right? And you two just bought a house, which is really cool. So they will be sharing for whole different perspectives of whole perspectives. So you guys can share anything you want. I will just open chat a little closer to me so I can actually work properly like it is designed. All right. So yeah, Mr. JP said, and Emma just bought a house, also big commitment. Yeah. We'll talk about commitment as well tonight, right? Because marriage is, in the end, is commitment. And, you can buy a house and say it's a big commitment, but, you can sell that shit anytime you want.
Don't sell your wife.
You cannot sell your wife, right? Or husband.
Wow.
It's a bit, I mean,
On the black market.
You can in some part of the world, even that is possible, I guess. All right, cool. So let's start with what we usually start. It's what is marriage in vocabulary dictionary, right? It's the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. All right, I'll read it again. So marriage is the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. All right. So in other words, it's like, it's a piece of paper. Some people say like it's a piece of paper. Marriage is a piece of paper. All right, cool. I guess, right? It is. In the end, like legally or formally looking. Okay. Yeah. So, but when you two hear marriage, like what do you hear? What is behind for you two? How would you define it? But not define it like, marriage is two people, like, but when you hear word marriage, what pops out?
I hear I hear obligation.
Mm-hmm.
I hear piece of paper, obviously. And then I hear but on the other side I hear it's not a goal or destination, it's a path.
Can you say more about what do you mean it's a path?
So some people, what I see, maybe it's just my story, okay? But what I see is that people get married and they're like super excited about it and all the drama around it, and preparations and everything, and how some girls are dreaming about their big day. And then they get married, and after a few years, it's like their relationship, their partnership dies in kind of way. So they just got married, and they don't keep on working on their partnership, their relationship. And okay, now we're married, so that's it. We're good. You're mine, I'm yours. And we don't need to work on it anymore. So that's what I hear.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
To me, marriage, it's kind of like, okay, so that we're in a partnership for life, as in two best friends, and also the love part, it's not like platonic, or how to say that. But yeah, that you sign these papers, but as you said in the start, it's a commitment. So as in, I accept this commitment, I am up for it to spend the rest of my life with this person. So kind of a little more serious than just a relationship. And at the same time, yeah, it's a piece of paper, but it's what I see it like as what you make it mean. So it is pretty important to me. And a little bit about what Ula say, I have just like a different, like opposite view. I don't want to have a big marriage wedding. I don't want to have like this big pomp ceremonial, whatever. Like, to me, it's the most important part is the after that. But yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, partnership for life, let's say it like that. Love, or I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. And it's like, a lot of people also, immediately think about, oh, that will cost so much, right? Because when you say
Yeah.
marriage, they see wedding. It's like, it's, all that. So, yeah, for me, it was like, I always want to be a father and a husband. So for me, it was like marriage was never just a piece of paper. And some people say, oh, it costs so much. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's like, 150 euros and you can get married. What are you talking about? What is expensive, right? I mean, yeah, it can be, right? It can be like, 1 million if you want it to be, but, to get married, you don't need that, right? And then I remember I had a lot of debates when I was younger, and it's like, people say, oh, that's just a piece of paper, it doesn't mean anything. For me, it's much more important, like, that we are okay, la 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 la. And I was like, yeah, but, it's kind of for me, it was always the next step. And what marriage means for me is basically, words of, if I'm one world and she is another world, right? So it's like marriage for me is successfully joining those two worlds together. It's like they don't become one, but they're like joined together, right? So they're like now one beside each other, so they go together, right? So in that case, because I don't believe that we are now one. It's like 1 + 1 is never one. I'm like, and if we are one, then like, what, did I lose my half, or how did it go through, right? So in that regard, it's like, successful venture of two worlds. So that they say, all right, this is it. And for me, it's then thinking more about it, it's like a commitment, and it's a matter of word. It's a matter of choice, of course, just like love is. It's also a marriage. So and it starts when the guy or the man or the woman who is marrying is saying, like, when they declare, you are now married. From that moment on, you are married. You're not married before and not married. It's always with the declaration, just like everything in life usually starts with the declaration, right? Even in football, if we gave this kind of pairing, right? So it's offside when, not when the flag goes up, but when the main referee whistle and he calls out, it's an offside, right? So it's the same with the marriage. You're married from the moment when they declare you two are married now, not from the signature. Some people say, yeah, you are when you sign. Nope. When the guy said you are married, signing comes after. You already signed being married. From experiences, I did it. It's like they said you're married, and we were like, okay, now you sign the paper. So it's not about the paper. It's like from a declaration from some authority. Yeah. Since that moment, you're married. But marriage for me, it's like that. So
Can I
yeah.
ask you something? Because it just came up to my mind. Do you see your relationship now any different? You know, as from the time when it was declared, okay, you're now married. Did your view, I don't know, shift? Did anything happen in that regards? That
Yeah, I'll answer in a second. So I just want to invite chat, right? There was a bit of a challenge. I don't know how many of you guys did it, but if you were paying attention, or if you even look at it now, it's just like, how do you see marriage, and how does it maybe impact your relationship, current one or past ones? Like, you can share that with us in chat. It would be really cool to do that. Want to hear, where you guys stand. Well, I can share from here, like, use me today for everything. You have worries about marriage and stuff like that. Ask questions. Everybody, you can do that. I love you. I allow you. I will look into it so that I answer your question. Is it any different? It is, definitely it is. But it's not in the way that, you hear from most of the people these days.
yeah.
But for me it's different. For me it's more freeing than ever. It's like, as a guy, as a hunter, before you went out and looking for a lady, and it was all that, and then people ask you, you're now 30 years old and still being single, la 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 la, all that things that are there, and it has nothing to do with anything. It's just people's point of views, but anyway, and expressed opinions. But when we got married, when I cannot marry myself, I don't know, maybe these days you can do that as well, who knows. But when we got married, for me it was just like, whew, this is it, this is now for life. It was excited and scary at the same time. Also that it's to touch that moment is also, the week before I had that, not cold feet, but it's a really big commitment. Like I said in the beginning, it's like, say, oh, buying a house, it's a big commitment. Yeah, it is, but you can sell it. And now you can say for marriage as well, you can divorce it, but it's not kind of the same thing, right? That one thing is a thing, and other thing is human beings involved. So a lot of things around that. So it's so I was like, man, commitment, like, that's I think is the most scary part for most of human beings about marriage. It's like you say out there for life, like you declare it for life, which we don't declare almost on anything. I will do that for life, right? Yeah. You don't say, I will water this plant for life, like, and if it dies, it dies. You're like, okay, but when it's, you say out there it's for life, it's if that dies, it's a much bigger thing for people, I think. Like, so for me it was also, for life, and I was like all wobbly, like my the voice inside was like, run, man, run. But it wasn't loud, it wasn't even convincing. I just recognized it, just, a fear. I never did this before. I don't, it's something new, something you did for the first time. You don't know how it goes, how it will happen. I was really calm at the wedding day, but some people saw me as nervous, which I was like, I'm not nervous. I just want the things to get going and doing it the right way, right? So because when we sit it down on the wedding ceremony, like in the building where the ceremony went through, I sat down, right, and I grabbed so I sat down, I had my own chair, she had my own chair, and I grabbed it like this, right? and I was just like this. I was sitting, I'm ready, right? I'm like, and they saw, because I grabbed it like this, that I was nervous. So the lady who was assisting there, she came and she grabbed my hand. She said, "Relax," grab her hand, and I'm like, "All right, I didn't know I can do that." I'm like, I'm married for the first time. I don't know if I can hold her before they say you're now married. I was like, no, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. so that was a funny thing. It's just like how perceptions goes. But yeah, afterwards I don't know. For me, it's just it's natural, and to be honest, it's and on the other hand, it's no different than it was before. It's just like I'm still waking up next to her, still choosing and loving every day newly, and it's being married doesn't give me any excuse or any, like, I would say, boost for anything. It's like, just like I said before, you can end it anytime. I go to the main office in the city and say I want a divorce, and there you go. There is a ceremony to that as well. Not as pleasant as the one when you get married, but it is. So yeah, but otherwise I would say, to anybody who is really in a relationship, loving one, do it. It does put your relationship to the next level. It does. It is out there. So yeah, go.
I thought you finished, because I have a question for you too.
Yeah, shoot, and then we will include chat. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you are married when someone declares it, right? And after it, you sign the papers. So my question is, why do you need the papers? I mean,
well,
obviously I know why you need the papers, but could the impact be the same for you if you got married, not formally, but by someone who you choose, declaring that you're married? You know what I mean? Without the papers.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like, first of all, I cannot answer honestly because I don't have the experience of it, right? So I can only speculate on it. But I would say no, because that person has no, he has no, how to say, there is no authority in his words, right? So when you do that in front of the people who are authorized by, by the state in this case, that their word means something, right? So when they said it, it's like, just like if we would play football, right? And would it mean if somebody from the stands shout out it's offside? Would that mean anything? Would that impact the game? No. Even if all the 22 players on the field would say that means something, it doesn't mean for the officials of the match. That's why there is a referee, and only referee's word it's like it's setting out there. But I get it, and in fact, you can declare it yourself. We are married now, and you go that, and partners now can change their surnames to your surname, and you can go out there as you're married, just like if you to have a baby, then it's a different procedure than when you're married, right? It's like something else need to be, like, I don't know how it goes if you are unmarried and it's baby belongs to somebody. I don't know. You have to choose who will be something. I don't know exactly how it goes, but in that way, I would say.
Do you think that this contract gives you that feeling that you are really committed to something? So even when things get really bad, there is less chance you're gonna go away because you should divorce and go through the process and so on. Then on the other side, where you're not married, can you hear me?
Yeah, we just lost Emma.
Okay.
That's why. Wait. We are looking a bit funky online right now. Okay, we are good. She's back. Okay, she's back. Okay, go.
Okay, good. So
Or in
yeah,
our
what I was
position.
saying
Hello,
is this
Emma.
contract,
Yeah.
is this contract has an impact on people not to leave the partner that fast. You know what I mean? Because it's a piece of
Yeah.
paper that says you committed to something, and there's even a big deal about getting divorced, and you need time and papers and so on. Do you think that's connected?
I mean, my bet would be that it is for some people, definitely, right? So, so, so some people do stay in marriages because of this contract. I mean, not contract, but it is a contract anyway. Just that the outcomes are different as in a business contract. But anyway, it is a contract, right? Uh, but then my question back would be, right? Why would you go in? Why would you even be in a relationship and thinking about that it might go sideways? Why would you marry and have this worry that it will go sideways? Because in my perspective, that shows, that you are not really playing 100%, but you are like in there with already 1 foot out of the relationship. It's like you're thinking about what would be the consequence if we get married and then it turns out bad, and then I will be in this marriage just because I'm afraid of the contract and the heaviness of the signature. But for me, that would be like, all right, if you're going into a marriage that way, don't go into a marriage. It's just
Yeah,
like
but most people do.
yeah, well, but that's why it ends as it ends. But
But they stay. But they stay
yeah,
in the
yeah,
relationship.
there are
Not
many
a
people.
relationship anymore just because of the contract.
Yeah, there are many people who are married and sleep in different rooms, right? And they're married just only on a piece of paper. They didn't kiss or hug for like, I don't know, 10, 15 years maybe. There are a lot of people like that.
Do you see that as being out of integrity?
I mean, you know, I see it as being out of integrity in a possibility that you said you're a loving person to the other person. Because if you don't hug or kiss your wife for 15 years or your husband, it's like definitely there is lack of integrity in that, yeah. And truthfulness towards yourself. It's just like instead of saying, all right, I don't love you, I'm out, it's like, nothing is wrong with the divorce as well. I want to put it out, right? We are talking about marriage, but divorce is also there. It's also included. Just like when you're talking about somebody being born, that is immediately included because the moment you get born, you're one day closer to being dead. That it's inevitable, right? It's also for the marriage. The day you get married, it's like you're one day closer for that marriage to end, because it will end. It's like nothing is forever, and that's the charm of life. And also Matic yesterday perfectly shared out of his experience. It's like he said the heaven is here on earth. You have all these feelings, all these touches, all this stuff, and you can either enjoy it or not. It's just a matter of perspective. So definitely I would, for me it's like it I would say it's out of integrity, even that if you go into a marriage with thoughts like a lot of them, like what if it goes bad, what if it goes bad, and you are more in what if it goes bad than okay, why am I doing this, right? It's like I love this person, I choose this person, and I want to spend my rest of my life with this person, right? With with the 100% trust in them. And yeah, the day might come that they don't want to be with you anymore and your marriage falls apart. That doesn't mean anything about you. No. It just means you gave your heart out, you were 100% in, and the outcome wasn't the way you wanted to be. And that outcome doesn't mean anything. And but we do put meaning into it. Just like Ula putting meaning into it, you can share right now. So you were engaged and it's over now. So and you shared briefly before what was one of the what you put meaning to it. So now, how is that for you, right? Maybe you share with us, like, how did you see marriage before, or for your most of your life, and being engaged, and now it ends. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. Before we go there, right? I give a word that after your question I will
chat.
include chat. Yeah, sorry. So Karina said, I see marriage as a limitation, exactly like this is it, this is for life. So yeah, definitely for a lot of people it comes as limitation, right? So to be honest, words among the guys is one pussy for the rest of your life? Really? That's it? Right? I mean, just saying it as it is, right? So one hole for the rest of your life. There is another, so to speak, out there, right? And that's but it's like what are you actually limited in? It's like nobody else put a limitation. You don't need to get married if you don't want to. If you wanna, be in 1,000 holes, then do that. I mean, man, look, it's your life. Do what you want, right? But what I really don't respect, I would say I don't respect, out there are when people come like, hey, I'm getting married, and there is this guy questioning like, oh, really, one for the rest of your life? I'm like, bro, that's really disrespectful, Why would you even ask that? Except, from some of your own, I would guess here, fears, or, like, want to act out cool, like, ego, like, want to show, oh, I one for the rest of your life. You can do so much more, but man, we're talking about human beings, right? You can do so much more. What? Right? I don't know, you want to dry hump the meat. Is that what you're saying? Is that like, if you see people like that, I mean, then generally something is missing there, right? So I don't know, but it's limitations. It's your word. And if you see your word as a limitation, then, kind of you just screwed your own game. So Mr. JP said, I'm more calm since we got married in a way that this is it. He will not run away. I mean, that was my wife, right? I was like, yeah, this is it. I won't run away. I won't run away. I gave my word to it, right? So yeah. And Karina then says, for me, it's more like I can't run away. I mean, to be honest, the boat comes up while you're being married. I mean, for me, it does, right? So, there are days like you do, like the internal, it's not comfortable, and you do want to run away. It's like you want to, like, there's this little guy who is crying. I don't know how to soothe him. Then, the wife is, you don't know in which state she is all the time. And you're like, just hands up, man, I'm out, really. Like, where is an exit, but our thoughts, they're there by default, and, you can do much about them spawning, but, you don't then give in to them. And that's, get responsible for them. So that's basically the thing. And then, on the child, if you're not married, Mrs. JP, she's an attorney, so she knows this stuff. So if you're not married, it's like then you have to go to the social workers and acknowledge that this child is yours. So, but what is different is when you're married, it's like immediately you don't need to acknowledge that on the social workers.
It's
very
logical.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, right. And it's a whole lot to do, right? So let's get just married, so I don't need to go. So for me, for me, in some sense, it would exist in that way as well, because I'm lazy, So what are the minimum efforts that I can do, to do everything to do everything, right? So that Mrs. JP said we are too lazy for divorce, so official marriage is the best option.
Oh my God.
Right, but look, our thing is black humor, so we will put it on everything, right? Except what happened with Ty today. We didn't put black humor on that. I didn't want it to, but then I saw it. This is inappropriate, but it is what it is. So you might humor about it, or you can get serious. But yeah. So Braxo said, meanwhile, agreed on something. Don't know exactly where was that, to be honest. And I don't want to be with other guys. I mean, limited, like we are stuck together for better or worse. Yeah, but you see, here's this word. We are stuck together.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you stuck? Are you in a pipe? Or I don't get this, right? So I'm a little bit joking, but also, to be honestly, like you see how we people can use words like really sloppy, saying we are stuck together. And then you look around self, and I don't see you being stuck in anything, right? So where does this stuck exist? It exists in your head. So, and if you go around, I'm stuck, well, you're stuck. It's like, it's always what you say is. So if you're stuck, you're stuck. For shizzle, right? So I would say, think about it like, I would more, like you can, change this for, instead of being stuck, saying, we are loving each other for better or worse. I would say that's much more powerful, right? So I will love you no matter what. I will be there. At the end of the day, I will hug you no matter what. Except if you go on a killing rampage, then I'm like close her up, I mean, but anyway, in these kind of things, I'm like, love her, love him for the better or worse, And if you see love as being stuck, well, then I would say, maybe change perspective on love. For me, love is freedom. It's like free to be, free to act. For me, is the ultimate love. So to give that option to partner and to yourself, I think that's the loving at its core. So that you that you let yourself be free to be and free to act, and then leave your allow that to your I mean, allow that, like I am allowing her, right? But standing for that she is also free to be, free to act. It's like, for me, is that's love. That's how I perceive it. But anyway, if you go by the definition of, we had a podcast on love, and I share more about love there. But I would just say that there is no such thing as love per se. Say, you can grab it. This is a microphone. All right, this is a microphone, right? This is an air. We cannot really feel it, but if there's a lot of pressure of air, you will feel it, right? So and love, it's like more you can be loving. So whatever then comes out of that. So the people who really study it, I would count myself one of them, because I studied being in love for 8 years, like all around that. But it's like there is no love, but it's only being loving. Mm-hmm. So it exists in so it's not a noun, but it's a verb. So yeah. So there is the only way how love exists is in being loving. Yeah. So you see love as freedom as well. Trust me, he can run that fast. Well, I'm too lazy to run. Give me a basketball, I will run 50 meters up and down as many times as you want. I'll go running. Yeah. All right, Ula. Sorry. I mean, sorry. It was my word that we will give the word to chat. So right now to you. So your perspective and the whole this situation, because it's also right. Engagement is part of being married as well, and we kind of include that in the whole package, right? We say being partners, being engaged, married, and then however it ends. Divorce is one of
them. When I was little, my parents had a pretty bad relationship or marriage or whatever. And what I saw there was that, as I saw it, my dad didn't respect my mom. And what I saw was she was doing everything for him. She was making like lunch, dinner, breakfast for him, ironing his shirts. And I was just like, and I didn't see anything from his side, doing for her. And I was like, I will never get married. Like, this is the biggest bullshit ever. Like, I will not be respected. I will have to do all this stuff for what? And I will be restricted and I will have a boring life. I will not be able to go anywhere because it was like that. My mom couldn't go for a coffee without almost permission. And I was like, no, no way, I'm getting married. I'm not belonging to anyone. So I really stick to that for a long time. And then every time that thing got serious from the other side, other part, from the guy, I kind of find a way to run away. But this time, I decided to really let go of my fears and my ideas about marriage and everything. And I really decided, like, yeah, I think I decided. I didn't, or I choose. I'm not pretty sure, but to be with him for all my life. And I didn't see the situations that were later bothering me because I was just really like into the idea of being with him, getting engaged, and so on. And after we got engaged, there was a story in my mind. Oh, okay. He just engaged me because he wants like me to be, calm, to be calm, that he's not gonna run away or something. That was my story. So it was like, you just did that because of that, not because you love me, blah blah. Then I went to London for my forum, and I realized that that it's not that all the marriages are not that bad, and that it's about the relationship, the partnership, and that it's just it's just a bad example from my childhood, and that it was the problem with my mom and dad was about bad communication. So I really like did my best to have a good communication and to compromise about things. But what I realized at the end is that partnership or relationship or marriage is with two people, it's me and him. And no matter how hard I try, sometimes, and I'm doing everything I can and even more, to get close to him. But at the end, I realized I lost myself because I did everything the way he did it so we could be together. I lower my standards. I start doing things that I actually didn't really want. And one day I just realized that I lost myself. I lost my vision. I'm not doing the things that I always wanted to do in my life. And I'm doing some things that I really don't feel good about it. So yeah, how I see marriage now, or relationship or partnership, is, as I said at the beginning, it's not oh, now we're engaged, great, or we're married, great. It's work, it's work. It's a journey, and I know there are ups and downs, and there are not just roses all the time, but I think it's all about the communication and compromising things and just giving your word and living in integrity. That's how I see relationship, marriage, however you want it.
All right, and I would say back, really brave of you, right, to go from a perspective of marriage is hard work and you know it's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it. To then give it a shot, right? And you give it a shot and it didn't go through, and you could say, fudge this, you know, I'm not
I
gonna
did.
do it. Yeah,
I did say
I
that. I
I
did
get it.
say that because when we talked about it, I was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life." But it just, my act.
Yeah.
I don't need you. I'm gonna do everything by myself. But yeah, at the end, when I really think about it, I really just want, to have a good, any kind of relationship actually with anyone, with a good communication, and just that I can trust your words. So if you say something and you don't do it, just restore your integrity, it's fine. But if you keep doing that, I lose my trust, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, all right. And from everything you shared, I had this, like, what can you take from this experience on? Or not what can you take, but what are you taking? Like, you said some really brilliant stuff in the way, and if you just see them from the side of, all right, I lose myself, so that is like insta victim mode. Like, I lose myself, I did everything and more. Like, how can you do everything and more? It's like you just did stuff. Like, to go really in the words. I mean, like it's really cool, right? Because that's how most of us are having a conversation. We say, I did everything that I can do and more. So, but if you did everything that you can do, there is no more. In reality, but I just, because I know you get it. That's why I'm like not making fun of you, but it's just like you did everything you did. So we could say you did your 100%, right? And it didn't work out.
Yeah, I actually I was saying more than that I did everything that I feel okay with, and some extra things I didn't really feel okay with. That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
I got
Yeah.
it, but you know, but if we would look it from the outside, right, we would say she did her 100%, he did his 100%, and it didn't work out. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I if
Well,
you
one.
if you would put in a perspective that we people always do the best we know to do in a certain time and situation with the informations we have. That's it. He,
Yeah.
he gave out his max, you gave out your max, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and there are expectations, obviously.
Yeah.
No. What I can see, I expect some things to happen. I mean, we talked about it. It wasn't just in my head, and he gave his word, but then he broke it, and then he gave his word again, and blah 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 blah. And but I still expected that things are gonna change. So
And
that's one thing.
it's a really cool thing that what you just said, you know, below, because that is, I would say, that is the thing that break most of relationships. That's why they don't go the way we want them to go, because you gave your word, you don't live up to it. You give your word, you don't live up to it. You give your word, you don't live, and you keep on doing that, and then it all turns sideways, and then insta victim mode, right? Oh, she's like la 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 la. Oh, he's like, and then I'm not that beautiful, and that other girl is like, yeah, that's it, right? I mean, really. but and just like that, yeah. And then of course there are expectations. It's like natural for people to have expectations, and you communicated them clearly, which is really cool, and that still don't happen. It's okay, it didn't happen, right? But if the people give word, then you're like, all right, I'm sticking to that. And that is important to you, right? And that is why I asked you before, it's like, what are you taking out of this? What do you see you can take out of this experience for the future?
Well, first thing is that at the beginning of the relationship, I can see I was like blind, love makes you blind. And
Being in love, I will always correct that. Being in love makes you blind.
love,
Love does not make
okay,
you blind.
okay, being in love makes you blind, and that if that's how I see it, okay. If there are some like my values are here and yours are here, and they are completely not matching, I think it's stupid to expect that he's gonna change his values for you. No, but the other person is blind too, so he just says, yes, I'll do that, no problem. And then that blindness disappeared, and this thing never happens. So I think for the relationship it's very important to have similar values, and lifestyle, because still you're gonna live together, and it's really cool to have like a similar lifestyle. You don't need to share all the things, obviously, but I don't know, if you want to spend your whole life in the snow, in the mountains, and I really don't like cold, that's kind of not gonna work.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, when you are being in love, right, everything seems possible.
Yeah. And being in love is important these days because we walk around so closed up, right? Like nobody likes to be vulnerable. Like people who are vulnerable out there, most people call them being naive, right? So they called me naive in the past. Oh, you're so naive. You talk to everybody about everything, and I still do that, and it didn't backfire on me, like never, because my own truth cannot hurt me. But anyway, right? So what being in love actually makes for us is that it's like it gives you an opening to that you open up and let somebody into your world, right? Just like you said, you're going into that world like this, and the other person into your world like this, and then one day comes up, and you're the blindfold goes off, and now you're, where am I? Right? This is not what I imagined, right? So what do I do now? And then it's like the obvious answer is accept and respect, and there is a chance for love, but without that there is no chance for love. It's like in my discovery, right? So yeah. But I would say I had a similar experience in my first relationship with we didn't get engaged, but I was also giving all my life becomes all about her. So when that is there, it's like I know how it is to lose yourself, and then I said no more, without having the all the tools that I have now. So I still did some stupid things and say some stupid things to, I mean, really sometimes inappropriate things, but it's just like I know how it is to lose yourself, and if that happens in a relationship, it's just like you get true to yourself, you communicate that out clearly, and if the other side I mean, other side, if the partner doesn't really see that, just go. You say next. I mean, you have one life, or be in that relationship for the next 10, 20 years, but don't go out crying, hey, he's like this. I don't care. Nobody cares, that for 10 years. What the heck are you doing? I mean, what do you just like to how to say, to suffer? Yeah, you do, because you're a human being. We like to suffer. I mean, look at the little kids, they like to suffer. They do all the stupid stuff all the time. They're just like, how can they hurt themselves more? But, and then we grow up older, it just becomes an automatic way. It's like, being together with people we are not matchable. Or even like me and Ursha, like I can say, right? So I shared before, my act, like the genuine of every situation, I feel uncomfortable, get out. And her response is always not fair. So do you get it? How is that like a complete nice thing, right? Or I'm all this guy, I'm not attached to people or things. And she's like really attached, like, really. She's like, she has no doubt attached on me. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just like, I'm opposite. You'll get a partner who is, it's like, and then and like you said before, it's work. So yeah, I really see a breakthrough for you here, even tonight. Just keep on, I would invite you to listen to it. Like, how can you complete this tonight and create a possibility for yourself, regardless of whether you ever get married or not. Just like who you want to be in relationships, and then pursue that, and that will give you an opening. I with no doubt, I will say this. So I promise you that will give you an opening until that you will get what you want in life. So yeah, not to leave Emma out of the podcast, right? It's like sometimes it seems like, but anyway. Chat was also actually in between. So Mr. JP said, Ula, your share reminded me that my grandma was crying at our wedding because she see marriages as now you have to do everything for him.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, right. So she said that, and she said it many times, right? Oh, you'll get married, you you're you'll be a workhorse. It's like, and she still is. She's like 80 a little more, and she's working all day. And when you come to visit them, she's like, I used to clean this house in a day. Now I do it in a week, and then I just have to redo it. And she's just doing that 24/7 almost. So it's and she said that then Karina and Mr. JP had a small debate about that. But it's like, that was basically it, Karina, what she said. And that's how she sees it. And there is nothing to debate about it. It's like, we cannot get reasonable with people, let's be honest. So, if your mind is fixed on something, there is no thing we can like show. Even if we show you the other thing, you still won't believe it's possible. So Karina says, Ula, thank you for sharing. It's really powerful. Mr. J and then Mr. JP and I are just having side conversation. It's okay. So they had then a little more conversation about that. Cool. Oh yeah, all right. Anyway, it's not that important for they're having side conversation, which is cool. That's why chat is there as well. That they chat between themselves and perfect. So Emma, yeah, how do being 22 years old, 4.5 years in a relationship, buying a house, right? The next logical step is marriage, like and kids and stuff like that. But how do you see it? I mean, anyway, we discovered until now you're not an average 22-year-old, if that even exists. But it's just like yeah, and I cannot hear your laugh. Why don't I hear you laugh?
I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, now I
okay.
have microphone on the
Okay,
camera,
cool,
so
cool, cool.
it's a little
All right,
further, not here.
all right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so yeah, how is your perspective and how it impacts the whole
Yeah. Okay,
situation?
let me do one thing first. I want to acknowledge that my internet and computer is acting a little today, so I'm a bit tense, like that it might shut down or something. So I just want to, acknowledge that, and if
All
it
right,
happens, I'll
all
come
right.
back and whatever.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's the first thing. Okay, then marriage. Yeah. I actually would like to go back to what you were saying when I asked you the question at the start, because yeah, to me it is like the next logical thing. Okay, now we're getting a house, we're gonna get married, blah 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 blah. And I am thinking, like, these thoughts are coming to my mind sometimes, not a lot, but sometimes it's like, what if we get married and then we, I don't know, drift apart, or happens like what, all the scenarios that we already debated here, and all the scenarios that are out there, when people just, I don't know, they just stop like working on or something like that on their relationship. So I'm like, what if that happens? What if, we're like, I don't know, 20 years later and we don't talk to each other or something like that. And I really and then it just like kind of hits me like, this is just your thoughts. It's like just something that, I don't know, comes in, goes out, whatever. And if I'm gonna do the same thing I'm doing now, nothing's going to change, so because it's like, really, if I don't do any work in a different, because we're doing work on our relationship, right? And if I don't do any different than I do now, it's not going to be any different. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you're just going to be, I don't know, a grandma, and he's going to be a grandpa, and we'll just spend our days together, our time together, the same that we do now. Maybe just with a little bit of more back pain and, stuff like that. But it's not going to be much different, probably. I mean, God knows. But yeah, it's really, I'm still a little bit scared of it, as you said in before for yourself, that because I never did it before, and it is a next step, and it is some kind of growth. So I'm a little bit like anxious, like, oh my god, and I don't want to, as I said, I don't want to make a huge wedding. But yeah, I would, I don't know, it's like interesting to me to think of us like that, because I do see, when you declare a marriage, that there is something different, then that it's like official, and it's, I don't know, it's like for real, if I say like that. So yeah, and I'm excited about it, and at the same time, like, what if, I don't know, I don't even know what might happen, like, I don't even know what my mind is trying to process, because there's nothing to really process. But yeah, I'm up for it. And I mean, we've been talking about it quite a lot, actually. Not like, okay, we're gonna get married now or something like that, but just, just like, oh, who would you invite? Like, just like stuff, a little bit of planning, because I think we both know that, I don't know, that's gonna happen, that we're going towards it. Just like, we it's, I don't know, we're not ready, if I don't know, to make a step forward. It's a mess in my head about it, because I don't have a straight view.
Yeah. No, but it's cool, right? How are we, in so to speak, weird in our, or like our, right, how we say things? It's like we are not ready for the next step, and you are doing steps in life. I don't see any steps. What are you talking, right? Being ready to take a step, don't you just go to a stairs and make a step? It's like you're now one step higher, and then the second you're, I don't, right? And it's so funny how we express, right? It's like there are levels in life. There is another thing, right? We are not at that level, and I'm like, do you play Super Mario or something? You're like, you're level 55 now. Okay, now you're good to go. It's so funny how we approach things, right? And here I have, right, just a thought. what do you think would be different than, if tomorrow would be your wedding day, and since Wednesday you are married? It's like, what's the right?
The feeling,
The
I
yeah,
don't
the
know.
big deal about it, right?
Yeah, it's really nothing there actually. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just, I don't know. I have this like kind of like perspective or point of view or whatever, that that I don't know, somehow something would be different. Like, I don't know, suddenly the world is in pink color. I don't know, something like
I,
that. There is some flavor, but it's really
it's
nothing
really
there.
not. Let
Yeah.
me look,
Yes,
really
Mr.
to
Married
be no,
Man.
no, yeah, look, really to be honest, I was the same, right? So you do this and da 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 da, but then in the end, it's nothing is really different. It's not like, suddenly you don't need to love her anymore, or you don't need to hug or kiss, or it's like you don't need to work on your relationship, like, you don't need to you don't need to communicate anymore, because somehow you're now on telepathic level. You just look at each other and and then you just, okay, it's not happening, right? So in the end, it's just like, yeah, it's not different. And on the other hand, it's like, all right, this is it, right? So it's all on a symbolic level, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So it's a meaning. So how I also see, right, the ring, I see it as right, we give each other a ring. So this is her love, right? And it's a
Yeah.
circle, right? So which means it's eternal. It's like it's never ending. So she put the never ending love on my hand, and I put never ending love on her hand. So it's like, that's what rings means to me. So with that commitment going into that, right? It's just like, and in the beginning, right? After we get married, this thing was on and off all the time. I was still, some level, I was still dealing with the whole situation. I was just like, and there comes times when, when I was really confronted, I would say, look, if something doesn't change, I will leave this and go. It's like, I don't want it from you, right? It's just like really sharing here, like what is happening. And it might never happen between you two guys, and or it might happen every day. It doesn't really mean, but it's just like, you know it's not pinks and rainbows and unicorns, and suddenly, everything is shining bright goldish, so to speak. Right? It's still it you know it's still life as it is.
Yeah.
Just that, I would say, if we go back to levels, it's, you're leveling up your integrity. At one point, when
In
you're
one,
single, right, you can have one level of integrity, right? So, yeah, it really doesn't mean much if you say to a girl, "I love you," when you're single. It's like, you go to the next one. And then when you put yourself in a partnership, and she says back, and you to say, okay, we are now together, declare it like we are boyfriend and girlfriend or a partners. It's like, then it's another level, because suddenly you look your schedule and you need to put time for that thing, because it needs active time to develop. And when you get married and start, most people start living together even before, right? So that is another level of integrity when you live together, because it's besides all your work or all the housework and paying the bills and going to the store and la 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 la. It's also, you need to have time for you two or you three, or so. And then next level is when you are having kids. It's like another level of integrity. So it's time between me, which I am spending with Ty, time when I'm spending us three together, then time for myself, then time for the projects, right? And all that need to go in the same hours, right? So that's how, if we speak in levels, it's like you're pushing yourself to be I wouldn't say a better human being, but maybe more efficient, so to speak, more present, right? You really need to be present and clear. And if you don't have clearing, like clearness, it's just like, then it can go down the drain, and a lot of things that we don't want to happens. But yeah. So yeah, that's it. So I would say to you too, if you want to live, get married. It doesn't mean anything. Ursula had so much worries about the money. I can share here, like this will cost us so much and la la la, and in the end we profited out of it. So, I don't know how, but and even though some friends says we did it with the minors. I was all the time like, we're not gonna do it with the minors, no chance. I kind of I know my side of family. I get to know your side of family. I'm like, I don't know what. And in the end, I was like, okay, if it happens with the minus, happens with the minus. Who cares? We didn't do it for the profit or the minuses. Even in the end, we can joke now, like Ursula, do you want to get married again? Like every year we would profit. It's kind of a good money, a good business to do if it's a profit, right? But I'm just and then it's like it really doesn't cost you much if you don't want it to cost much. But in the end, if you're doing it, if the money is the reason why you don't get married, then I'm like, then just don't get married, bro. It's just like, I mean, if you don't trust in yourself that much that, you can do the wedding without anybody contribute a euro to you, it's like, then don't do it. Why would you do it? You do it so that you get money? I mean, really? I mean, then it comes that kind of absurd things that we are talking and discussing in the name of love, which is fucked up, if you ask me. This has nothing to do with love. Love is not happening inside of reasons. It's like, who at the normal state, if you go into reasons, right, would commit to another human being who is equal amount fucked up as you are, or as more or less, right? It doesn't mean. And then go inside and say, okay, let's work it out. Like, you gotta be crazy to do that. It's like, it's not a normal thing. It's like, normal thing is to be in your cave and do you all the time, all your life, do your cave. That would be like comfort zone, right? And just thinking about how it is outside. Maybe looking, but don't really never go. Or maybe just pull the curtains down and never look. It doesn't exist. This is it. And it's at the same time, it's okay. She said, we did not profit. We covered wedding and honeymoon. Actually, I'm not sure about honeymoon. Anyway, it was a good deal. I mean, I calculated it, we did. We even bought a new bed for 1K. So, yeah, I'm really like, I want to sleep good. So I want to have this kind of mattress, right? And it was around, I don't know, 800, 900 euros. But it's a good mattress. I do get sleep. And, regarding saying that I spent 7 hours a day on it, I think it's worth it. But yeah, so anyway, Ula, what are you getting so far? Maybe so far, or, I really want you to live empowered out of this podcast. And maybe anybody else who is listening and, is having second thoughts, doubts, or stuff like that, because you're right now in it, right? It's like you're still in the apartment where you two were living together, so it's a lot to take in, and you can't take it in. So I mean, take in, you don't take anything in. So, well, you will take it in and you will be 100 kilos heavier, that's how it goes. I'm joking.
Not. It definitely is a big commitment to live together, because you're creating things together. You're buying stuff at the end of the day. You're putting your energy, time, money in the apartment, house, whatever. And you're putting memories. And it's kind of hard because at the end, if you split up, one person has to leave and you leave part of yourself behind. So it definitely is a big commitment. But if you don't do it at all, like I would say now, oh, I will live by myself alone for the rest of my life, because if we get separated, I will be hurting, blah, blah, blah. I live in fear, and I think it's still better to get, I don't know, few years of wonderful moments and creating something. And even if at the end you suffer, you have like, I know, I'm just imagining like you have 5 years of love, creation, wonderful moments, and so on, and then you have, I don't know, few months of suffering. It's still better to have those, I don't know, 5 years or whatever, than because of fear you have nothing.
All right, got it. So you have an experience, and time flies. I didn't even know it's 20 past 10. I thought it's like, quarter to 10. Didn't even look at it. I was thinking like, we didn't cover that much in my. So it's really cool, and I don't want to end it like this on this here. So, but I had an idea, and I will go through with it. So if you will agree, and it will not be comfortable. It will not be probably also comfortable for people to listen to it. But at the end, I think you will get a lot out of yourself. Now, my question here is, do you want coaching?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. So also I will include everybody, right? So a couple of things you said that I think is hooking you, right? And it's not really giving you freedom is when you said, right, we build all this together, and now when it's time to leave, I leave part of myself behind. Which, to be honest, here it's loony toony, right? Because if you would walk out right now, I think you would walk out whole. And you wouldn't walk out without a hand or, without a toe or something, right? And to be really realistic about it, right? So you will only leave part of yourself and keep being part of yourself behind until you will be saying it is. So I left it, and then. So I invite you to look at it, right? So you did all that. And you did all that because you loved and you believed, and you didn't went around with a fear, afraid, right? And now the outcome, the result is not the way that you want it to be, right? So it's actually a breakdown in expectation. You expect it, we're engaged, we'll get married, we will spend our lives together, right? Now this is a huge breakdown, It is. But in reality, it's no bigger than a fart. It doesn't mean any more than a fart. When you fart, you fart. When you get divorced, you get divorced. That's it. That's all there is. Everything else is a story that we put on ourselves. It's like, right, I dropped the tie today. I didn't even drop him. I put him on a chair, so he fell on himself. So I would say, all right, my responsibility is to know that at the age of 3 months, he cannot see it properly. So I did put him at one angle, but, he's getting stronger every day, right? Anyway, he fell down on his head. I'll be like, I'm a bad dad. I'm not, and that doesn't mean that, right? So, and what I see for you also, and you will say it's like that you didn't declare it that it's complete for you. Like, this relationship is complete for me on a level of romantic relationship. You can still be friends or, business partners, whatever. So if you imagine, right, or if you say it right now, you can say it, I declare this relationship complete. This always gives us an opening. And then, to see it for what it is, not for all the stories, meanings that you add on it. What does open up for you?
Well, when you say, declare it, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, got it. So you don't need to do it. It's just like, do you want, like, you will not, you can have also freedom in saying, because right now you're in between, so to speak, right? So you said, I'm looking to go out, but I don't want to declare it. So it's like you don't give yourself permission to be free. You're holding yourself in a cage, in a victim mode. Why?
because my story is that it's hard to separate. That's it.
All right.
And I'm still, I'm still seeing like a little sparkle of hope. And then it's just like, second thoughts. Oh, did I do enough? Am I a bad person? Should I give him another chance, and so on.
I got that. Man, it's all viable and all on the spot. Right?
Yeah.
And you have a choice in front of yourself. Stay with him or not stay with him, right? So do you choose him the way he is, or you don't choose him the way he is? So that's it. That's what is out there. Everything else is, we can call it directly as it is. Everything else is bullshit. It's reasons. It's like no freedom, no chance of freedom, love, connectedness. It's all will be based on reasons. Oh, I stayed with him because I gave him another chance. I'm such a good person because I do that. Blah blah blah. No, you're not. You just gave him. You just stayed in there because you decided. You didn't even choose, right? So if you put all the reasons aside, right? Everything all the plus and minus list and stuff like that, and you simply choose with what you want to choose. What do you choose?
Well, for sure I choose myself. And
All right. Is there a place for him in that picture? I mean, to be honest to yourself, like right now you said I'm choosing myself. So now that you are yourself, you're choosing him the way he is and the way he isn't, or not?
Well, for sure I'm not, because if I would, we wouldn't have the conversation that we had every month or
All right.
every week.
Cool. And if you do not choose him, right? And just go with that choice. Yeah, there are reasons will always come up, like, we had so much memories, la 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 la. All that things will come up. The radio Ula will come up, right? Like I have radio Yerne and Mr. JP and I have several radios anyway. I will not go into that. And Emma has radio Emma, right? That's what's showing up. It's radio Ula, right? It's just like all the past, every experience that you had, every observations that you had, right? And there is some payoff out of that. And
yeah,
the pay, what do you see? What's the payoff?
The payoff is I don't need to play big. So if there is him, I can say, oh, because of he's being like this and that, I'm not the best version of myself.
Yeah. So basically the payoff is you don't need to be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always his fault and you get to be right about it. He's a schmuck, blah, blah, whatever, He's dead, I'm doing all my best, I'm really trying, nobody cares if you're trying. Trying never moved anything in the world, only doing it. But but basically it's you don't want to be responsible. You even choose it right now and you don't want to be responsible with the choice. And that's something, right? So what is it costing you?
It's costing me my freedom and developing myself in business, in personal growth, traveling.
How do you sleep?
Yeah, it costs me sleep for sure. I can't sleep normally for the last few weeks.
Yeah. Right. That is what it costs you. It costs you. The ultimate cost is, right, aliveness. And I want to also give that out there to everybody who is watching or listening later on. It's like, look, if you feel crappy about whatever it is, right? Just look from the perspective, what can I be responsible for? And that will give you power. That's it, right? So if now that you're present to all this, right? And if you get responsible for your choice that you don't want to, you are not choosing him, right?
Yeah.
What do you do next? It's like,
I take actions.
right, what actions do you take? Like, what do you see can be an action that would like really empower you?
Well, I need to communicate that like this, like directly with him without playing nice because I don't want to hurt him, but it doesn't work. And yeah, I need to take real responsibility for my life and put all the cards on the table because I'm gonna be responsible for everything. So like apartment, my car, like everything, because now I always have, even though I'm responsible, I have the option that if I fail or something goes wrong, I can somehow, take it on him or, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that is really cool. I mean, really, I really acknowledge you to share this out here, because it's not just the two of us. It's like, people are listening that some of them we don't even know, and it's really take guts to share this out here and be really this vulnerable. But what it also show is how much you're committed, to get out of this, right? So yeah, imagine, right? How much, if you now imagine, right, that you already took responsibility and you did all this, you're in your apartment, you have the whole system around paying for stuff, so living the way you want to live. How would that be for you?
I would say scary, like,
Yeah.
But also, it would feel free. I would be free and exciting and opening possibilities, new projects. I could travel way more because I wouldn't feel like guilty, for not being home. I can actually figure out one thing that really pop into my mind right now is that I can actually figure out who I am, what I want from my life, and how exactly I want to live, and put be the stance for myself, and put no, not walls, but that's my line, to people, that's what I want from life, and this is my line. It's okay if you're on the other side of the line, but then we cannot I know, build things together or whatever.
All right, cool. I got it. And you said, being free, being excited, right? And that is also how you can go out there and deal with this whole situation, or you can deal with it, not sleeping and stuff. You can be free and excited right now if you choose.
Yeah.
Like nothing is holding you back. It's like, I don't see anybody there saying you're not. But what I want to give out here is like in every situation, whichever we are, we have a choice, and we choose. If you're feeling bad, you choose to feel bad. I mean, if you think somebody else's fault is, well, it's not. It's yours. I mean, your fault, your responsibility to so to speak, right? You choose it, and now you're saying he's to blame that, I'm angry. What does he has to do, He said blah, blah, blah. And you're angry because you want to be angry. Because it's easier to be angry than being responsible, saying, oh, he's saying that because I said that before. So, okay, if I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't get that response. All right. So now I can do something about it, because otherwise you can't do anything about it. You're just battling with a windmill, which in that case is a human being. Yeah, and you can go beat him up or, sue him or whatever, but that wouldn't really give you any satisfaction or fulfillment or happiness and stuff like that. But yeah, being free and excited. That's it. Yeah. And now you go and do actions, right? And then here's the tricky part, right? The tricky part is if you don't do actions, freedom and excitement go away. And this was just chitty chat and blah, blah, blah. And, even if we wouldn't have it, maybe, like, what I mean? It won't make much difference. It's like, right? So, because where life really happens is in discovery, not in knowing. And that's cool. Being afraid and excited at the same time. Those, I think, are the moments when you feel I'm alive, right? Like, that for me is like every time I need to press live button here for the stream. I'm like, at the same time excited, I want to do it, and I'm afraid, what if nobody shows up? What if they think I'm a loony toony, whatever, But then you do it because, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I would also invite you, being the free and excited, right? You can still do everything that you said with the partner by your side. That's what I would invite. I mean, I'm inviting you just to look into that, not to do it. But how we oftenly do is, I hear a lot of stories, right, from people. I need to figure it out for myself, right? When I will know how I want to live my life, then I can include another person into it. But then, bro, you're not a robot. Like, it's like there are people around you all the time, right? So when we are stronger, when we are in numbers. So, if you have at home somebody who has a big listening for you, that you're amazing, super, loving, sexy being, right? It's like, you can do anything. You just go like, all right, I'm not alone. That person comes up and say, hey, what's going on? Kick you in the ass, go to work, do something, or anyways, you can have sex and just beat out the bad thoughts out of it, whatever. But in that way, right? And then that is how I see also family. For me, like right now we have time, we want to have 4 kids, but those are 4 more people who will have a big listening for me, and I know they will, because I'm living as, I want to create them or raise them into a confident, loving, respectful human beings. And that is what I will give to them. And, being as a role model is, that's how it goes. And they will still deal with their life how they deal with their life. And that has nothing to do with how I listen to them. But it's just like, I really encourage you that inside of that, because there was a slight, I want to figure it out on my own and then I can include somebody else. I would like, no, what? It's a pet, right? Like we discovered before. So in that pet, you can include people into it. And yeah, some people will fall off and some people will keep on marching with you. And there will come a guy who will say, hey, I want to keep march with you until the end of your life, whether you figure it out what you want or not. Like Usha don't know what she wanted to do. And we are married. And, my mind goes like, how can I be with somebody who don't know what to do? It's like, I know what I want to do, and here she is, don't know what to do. She cannot even possibly understand me how it is. Like, why am I willing to put 12 hours per day to work around this stream that doesn't even profit at the moment, right? While she is all, she has only one thing, Thai. And then, all the time we can belittle ourselves, or we can say, no, look, she is such a loving and she doesn't know. So, okay, she'll figure it out. You know, she's big. I will stand. I cannot give her solutions because it's like, what do I know what she wants to do, right? But I can support her in that. So, great stuff, Ula. Thank you for that. To give me the opportunity and hope you got something for yourself out of it. And I want to say, also to everybody, right? There is no easy way to break up with somebody. You cannot break up in a nice way. Look, it will hurt whether you do it through a phone, whether you do it through a text, whether you do it through a mail, whether you do it through a note, through a voice message, or in person. It's no way that it will not hurt both sides, or at least the sides that are being dumped. It's just, it's almost impossible. So that is also, I have tomorrow a workshop after a long time with youngsters, and it's like, I'm really excited. And I'm telling them, there's no way. And there, people go then, it takes a big person to dump somebody in person. Well, yeah, you know what happens when you do it in person? The other person cries, and then you go back into it, and then you go back into it, and it's harder to go out to be true to yourself. It's just that what's happening in person. It doesn't give any more satisfaction to the person on the other side. And all this, I need to understand why you're leaving. Well, you can't, because I don't love you. Understand this. That's it. It's that simple, Or I'm leaving you because I love you, but I cannot live like this anymore. I also heard that one. I talked to a grown-ass man, 40-something. He said, I'm in this relationship, loving it. She's a sexy bomb. I love her. But, I cannot be with her. It's not workable. It's just not. And then, I put on the line that, whether I want workability in life, or, discussing every day for 3 hours what is going on with her, and we don't move for an inch. And, then I just lost 3 hours of a day every day. For what? For loving somebody so that they can cry all the time and not do anything. So, and that is like, all right, now I got to be responsible for myself, my life, and what I want out of it. Put the superhero shirt on, and go fly. Go fly. No, but really, be free and excited. And yeah, it's scary. But there's it, right? So keep on being into the, I will travel more. I am traveling. I will go there, right? Because I would say if you're in a relationship where the partner is saying, oh, you can't go there, you need to be home. What did you just say? I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's like, you expect me? Nope. Right. Usha doesn't need to fear, because I'm more of a caveman than a traveler, so I'll always be home. But, she's the traveler one, so, but yeah. In that sense, it's just like, do you, and people who respect and accept that are there. People who don't, you go like, look, I'm doing me, you're all the time in my face with some ridiculous things, I'm not gonna have it. Bye-bye. And then do not lose that inside of marriage. That's what happened also. Like people, I'm all free, and now we're married, I'm locked down. What are you locked down in, man? How did you set up your relationship? I mean, did you set up your relationship in a lockdown? It's like, well, then you have it. But, it wasn't comfortable for me or Ursha. And it's still not comfortable. Relationship is not comfortable. It's like it cannot be. When it gets comfortable, something is taken for granted, and then it's blah, blah. Then it's really get nasty. Then it's all about fighting, and suddenly you start competing with each other, and getting bored. That's another thing. People are all excited, and then they get married, and I'm bored now. I see her all the time. Well, I'm bored. Let's go find another, right? That will give me. And then you have reporting when people go find another. That boredom didn't go away because boredom is not happening out there. It's happening in here. You know, that's the another illusion we have. Oh, I'm bored. Now I will go watch TV and the boredom go away. Oh, shit, it didn't go away. All right, I'll go do drugs and it will go away. Oh, it didn't go away. I'll drink alcohol. Oh, it didn't go away. I'll go do, ladies. Oh, it didn't go away, Not being responsible. You perfectly said that. So, awesome. Awesome! Chad, this is it. You can close it down here. I don't know where you guys will close down this podcast. It was like all over the place. But, we keep on extending it, but it's just like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, even if, it's not the way that we design it to be all the time. You adapt and you give a friend support, and that's way more important than how the podcast goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything you guys want to share for the end? Ula, what's on your mind? Just say it, express it. If you need to cry, cry. Look, we are just people here.
I'm just tired because I think I went through a big hurricane tonight. In a good way. I mean, in a hurricane way. I just, I'm just tired.
Cool. Maybe you'll sleep good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And here it starts, right? You get a good night's sleep, and then in the morning you clap your hands together and say, okay, let's go do it. Yeah. Awesome.
True.
Emma?
To me it's very present how, let me say, I love how we all have a choice and how we all have the power to lead our lives and relationships and marriage and everything that comes our way in any way we would want to, and that we always have, in a moment, we always have a choice what we could do out of it. And at the same time, it can be scary that you always have a choice and that you're always can be responsible for anything you do. But I think, if you take it as a freedom, as something to be creative, as something to live your life, be on court, it gets also exciting. And I think that's all what I wanted to, what was really present to me now,
That's awesome, right? Whatever we're present to, we are getting out of it. It's like, it's really, really cool. So, but I really want to acknowledge you both for sharing that vulnerably and saying it how it is for you, and Ula, for you to really be committed to yourself, and go with yourself within all the fears and doubts that you are there, that I see in your eyes are still there, but it's normal. It's like, that's the thing, and I know you will find your clearing inside of what you created tonight. So I'm really excited, to hear from you in the next days and next week, when we will have gifts as our topic, right? How cool is that? Gifts will be our topic, and that is just, it's appropriate time of the year. Woohoo. And then the last one will be New Year's revelations, which is like cool. I'm so excited about. He was like, all right, let's do this, right? How many of you people say you're gonna lose fat and then you don't? You lazy cunt. Oh yeah. All right, guys, it was a lot of fun. Chat was also live. Mostly this is JP and Karina. Slow Jakey popped by, say hi. So yeah. And GG, guys, and that's it. I don't know. There is nothing else to say for tonight. I think we kind of how to say, used our fuel, and now we will go recharge it. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful end of the night, or sleep. And see you with this podcast. See you next Monday. With this stream, we see you tomorrow at 11. We're gonna build the raft and do the quests, and having fun out there on the sea, playing pirates or whatever. That's it.
Cool. Bye.
Yes. Bye bye.